New Orleans was awash with chaos.
Oh, how awful. Katrina was not kind.
She was not good.
That is awful.
She would have swallowed up your Dualis.
Hey, take that back. Pop your manners back in.
In total, the storm killed more than 1,800 people and destroyed more than 270,000 buildings.
Did you say 1,800 people?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Huge.
It's devastating.
Zack and Addie hunkered down in the little apartment in the French Quarter, and remarkably, once the storm front had passed, they and 826 North Rampart had survived with very little damage.
Wow.
Addie was relieved and grateful and set about helping people she knew and strangers to survive and eventually rebuild their lives.
Wow.
But her relief and her good work would not last. Just over a year later, Addie would be dead in a horrendous murder-suicide.
Oh, my God.
Today, we're investigating the murder of Addie Hall by Zack Bowen.
Oh, my God. I have not heard of this.
Oh,
Are you going to tell me about it?
I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
You just walk out and leave? Okay.
I got you, boo.
You got me, boo.
I got you.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Not Another Crime Podcast.
I'm Scott Williams.
I'm Sammy Peterson.
I am not Georgia Love.
And I am not as well. Welcome to Not Another Crime Podcast. As always, if you want to skip ahead and just listen to the story, you can do that. The time code is in the show notes. Scott Williams, how the hell are you today?
Well, hi. Hang on. I've got to take
Hi.
I've got to take off my judgmental glasses.
Yeah, I know.
So that I can see you.
Yeah, that's lovely, actually. Yeah. You
really,
can't see
really
with
well.
your judgmental glasses? They're
No,
just
they're
for
reading
judging.
glasses. They're just for judging
just for
or
judging.
reading. Yeah,
Okay.
Reading,
Judging is over the frames, though.
Give it a few of those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, or reading the judgment.
Reading into the judgment too much.
Yeah, that's exactly
How are you at the moment, Scott? Because you just you had like a great weekend recently.
I had a bucket list weekend.
Yeah,
recently.
a bucket list weekend. What
really
happened?
did.
So can you talk through we know that you're a car guy from way back.
Yes.
You can hear a car and you know exactly what car it is.
That is me. That's
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
true. In fact, I remember on a much older podcast of yours, Nature versus Nurture,
Yes.
where I described to you the first Hot Wheels car I ever owned, which I still own.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I know. I can close my eyes and think of it. So I am a car person. I'm
Yep.
part of a club called the Mini Moke Owners Association.
Yep.
And Mini Mokes are a little 1960s car that if you've ever been to somewhere like Magnetic Island or Hayman Island in Australia, you've
Yeah.
seen them, but they're based off a 1960s classic Mini, but they have a canvas roof, fully convertible, little body, great fun.
Where are they? Where are they from? Are they German cars? Is that
No,
where
they're from. They started off being made in England, and
I don't
then
know.
they were-
I guessed.
Then they were made here in Australia. By
Yeah,
Leyland
right.
For most of the time, and my dad actually started the Moke Owners Association club that we're now part of.
And that's the
in
Appreciation
1969. That's our club.
Yep.
And this year we put our club forward as one of the clubs to be considered to drive the Formula One drivers in the drivers' parade at Albert Park.
So is it different cars every time? Like, how does that work? Yeah, right. Okay.
They pick different. And I think they might have.
Have they ever had
picked
a
us-
Nissan Dualis?
I don't know if they've
That's
ever
my
done
car.
Dualis. It was a problem. I know, and it's a beautiful Dualis.
Thank you for saying
It's
that.
got a sunroof.
Yeah.
It has.
A sun? No, it's got the sun. It's got. I have a sunroof, but it's glassed in.
glass roof, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really a
So
sunroof.
really
I can
got-
see the sun, I can't feel it.
The trouble with that is the drivers standing up in
Yes.
the back of it and waving to people. So I think that's why they don't choose.
I break through the glass like Charlie in the great glass elevator. I go straight through the top.
In every other way, a Dualis would be perfect.
Yeah,
don't get
thank
me
you
wrong.
for saying that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. So it's the 60th year of the car being made.
Oh, wow.
This year, and so I think that was part of the reason why they picked us.
Where did your dad's love come from for this car? Where did he start to love the car?
He bought one as the first car he ever bought for himself because it was $999.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he got this car, and then he saw a couple of others around, and he decided he'd start. He didn't want to call it a club. He wanted it to be more of an association
cult.
than a club. A cult. Yeah, he
Wanted
did want it to be a cult,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out.
He started wearing a really long white caftan.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I read the news.
Yeah, that's it. So that's it. That's it. What's the key thing that happens with cults? At some point, they go, actually, I'll look after all the money.
Yes.
And I get to pick who sleeps with who.
Yeah, and I get to have sex with all of your wives. I think that's one part of the lead of the cult leader.
I'd like to make it really clear that
Your
the
dad never
Moke
did
Owners
that.
Association does not engage in that sort of activity.
I don't know why you're winking at me, but you do not. You
Stop it.
do not.
No, we definitely don't.
You do not.
No.
But so your dad got, like, he loves that car.
He loved that car. We've had them for our whole lives. The one that
Do you own one as well?
I own the one that he used to own now. We had a vehicle exchange about probably 20 years ago now where he gave it to me.
Oh, wow.
Essentially. And it's wonderful because him and my son, who's 20, and me go out and do things in it together.
That's great.
It's really cool. This one that I drove in the drivers' parade on Sunday, we've had since I was 15 and I'm 53, so we've had it for more than 30 years, this particular car, but he has always had one, even if he had this was his daily driver for a long time, and the greatest thing about that is he was a school teacher for many, many years where we grew up out in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, and when he started his own business, he worked for a while at doing pizza deliveries just to make a bit of extra cash on the side. Right. And he got the best tips because he'd pull up in the moke. The kids who he had
jump out the door without opening the door?
There is no door.
I'm not thinking of the right car. There's no door.
There's no door.
So you have to jump over the top.
Yeah, you just jump. You just it's just.
And, you don't have a choice in jumping over the top.
You've got to jump. You've got to jump in and out. But
then jump the bonnet.
All the kids that he taught for many, many years were at the age where they were ordering pizza. They'd recognise the car, and he'd get the best tips.
That's so cool.
It was so funny.
Why doesn't it have a door? What's the functionality of not having a door? Oh, because it's got the yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the side of the car's only like 14 inches high, and then it's got a canvas door.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it functional, like it's really like they still make these today, or is it like
there's a company, so Cherry, who make other cars. So they own the tooling for them and they make them in the States.
Thank you for putting that in layman's terms for me. They make other cars. And I'm on board.
Yeah,
I get it. I get other cars.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Got you, Alice. I get it. Yeah.
It's a Chinese company and they own the tooling and they make electric ones.
Oh, okay.
They're not sold in Australia. But they're fully electric, so they're very different to what ours are. Like I like to say, mine's no ABS, no airbags, no power steering. We die like men. Right? That's what happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got to the club got selected to.
Did you say IBS?
ABS.
Oh.
Yeah.
My car hasn't got IBS. Mine hasn't either, Scott.
Some
don't know what you're bragging about for.
Some people's cars give them the shits.
yeah, that's actually true. You can look that up.
Look it up.
Look it up. So, describe the day to me then. So
so the Wednesday before the race, we had to take all our cars in. To the track. They got put in they put in the spot where they were on display. They had to do scrutineering, which is checking them to make sure that they couldn't have anything loose in them. We took the back seats out. We took the roofs off, so it was easy for drivers to get in.
Didn't have to take the doors off because there's no doors.
There's no doors. They had to make sure that they're not allowed to leak anything so you can't put any oil or anything on the track when you're driving out on the track and stuff. And then we left them there on the Wednesday. On the Thursday,
You leave them there?
Yeah, you would just leave them there.
Ah, okay, right.
Yeah. And then on the Thursday, the F1 Corporation came through and put all the stickers on them. So my car was for the Addie team. So they put an Audi sticker on my bonnet. They put the drivers' names on the side. They did all of that.
Yeah.
And then the track opens to the public on the Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they're just sitting on display.
Yeah.
But they bring a lot of joy, these little cars.
Yeah,
and
sure.
We got hundreds and hundreds of people coming up and wanting to look at them and stuff. And so on the Saturday, there was only 4 of the 10 of us there. But I said to the guys, get on your phones and see what the other owners say. But if people want photos in the back of my car, I'm okay with them coming under the barrier and having a photo.
Yeah. As long as they pay.
Well,
I always say that. People always want photos in the back of my Duelis.
Oh, yeah.
As long as they pay. Every time.
If you got a car like a Duelis, you don't do that. You don't do that for free. You do not do that for free.
I ain't got time for that.
I know my work Toyota Corolla is the same. Yeah.
You want to get a photo in the back? Yeah. That ain't for free.
That's a gold coin donation.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money.
You don't have a gold coin? We'll go and find one.
Business, not pleasure.
Back you come.
Get in the back. Give me $20.
That's it.
So they were all lined up and everything.
Lots of kids love them.
Sure.
So it was really joyful to, like, a dad had come up with his kid and they'd be looking at the car and you go, come and have a photo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so
cute.
So
they jump in the back with their dad and you take a couple of photos with dad's phone and then you'd run off with the phone and sell the phone to somebody else. That was really cool too. Yeah.
I was selling so many phones that day. Selling and buying.
Busy.
Busy day for me.
So that was sort of all day Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
We're doing that. And then on Sunday morning, they get you together for a little briefing. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
These are the rules. This is what you have to do. We go out. The parade, I think, was at 1 o'clock. So we went out onto the track about 12:30 and got in place.
Was there a tussle about the members of the club driving the car? Like, did you have to fight someone off?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds.
Yeah,
No.
correct.
So anybody that was interested in doing it put
Yeah.
in a photo and some details.
Great. Yeah,
and
yeah.
The F1 Corporation actually chose the cars, so it had nothing to do with the club who chose
Yeah,
the cars.
okay, right.
So the F1 Corporation just said, we want these. I think they did it. There was a lot, based on the ones they picked, it was a lot to do with colours and how the colours matched the teams. So Audi's car's mostly black, so my car is black. So it made sense that I'd be picked like, there was a bright red one that the Ferrari chose and et cetera, et cetera.
I got my Dualis behind you.
Is that red?
No, silver.
Silver.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice,
That could be Mercedes, mate.
Yeah,
the Silver Arrows.
quite
Yeah,
nice.
beautiful. I'm going to
Beautiful
tell
car.
Toto Wolff, the head of Mercedes.
Let him know.
I'll let him know. We've got a
Got Dualis out back.
We've got 10 Mokes and a Dualis.
Costs
mate.
$20 to take a photo in the back, but he'll drive down.
So then, so we pull it out on the track. They do a photo at the start of the Formula One season with all the drivers. So they did that photo, and then they all walked down to us and found their car and jumped in, and they had a little chat. And I had some Hot Wheels cars that were the Hot Wheels cars of my drivers, so they signed those for me.
That's so cool.
And you just do a lap of the track, and everyone's screaming and waving. It's really
Great.
it was really cool. And it's not it's kind of a bucket list thing, right? You can't buy that experience.
Of course.
It just happens, and I was very fortunate.
Oh, that's so great! And so you've got photos of the day and everything because you sent me an Instagram of the actual the event itself
from Addie. Yeah.
Oh my god! Because you'll have to send us photos so we can put it on the Instagram and everything as well because people would love to see that. Yeah, so it was a bucket list item though, like it was something that and with your dad and everything as well. Had your dad ever had that experience?
No.
Yeah.
So if my son came on the day, but if I had made a bucket list, I wouldn't have even put it on the list because why would you think that you could do that?
Yeah.
But when we got the opportunity to do it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm completely in.
I never thought I'd own a Dualis.
Well,
look at this guy now.
Look at him.
Look at this guy now.
I mean, when you
look at me.
When you had your
look at me now.
I am looking at you. Stop telling me to look at you.
You know why G's having some time off? It's stress leave now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
It's 'cause you won't stop telling people with friends.
Look
that's
at me.
the problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me. For God's sake,
I've
just
got to
look
look
at
at the paper to tell the story. Look at me.
Look at me.
Yep.
That is so cool, though, Scott.
Yeah,
that
it
is
was
so
super fun.
cool. Yeah. And so from that experience as well, are there any more bucket list items that you have for this car? Like, is there any in particular? Like, have you got
I'd
drive
love
up Everest?
I'd love. Well, my dad's taken it to Es Rock.
Has he really?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
wow.
So the car club did a trip from Melbourne up what's called the Untitled Track, which goes right up the middle of Australia,
right.
to Es Rock and Alice Springs and back.
Yeah,
so
wow.
That's pretty awesome. I'd love to do a trip with the three of us, with Dad, myself, and my son.
Go back to Uluru.
Yeah, or something. I'd like to do a something trip.
Yeah.
with them. I'd actually really like to do like a couple of weeks around Tassie.
Oh, that would
That'd
be cool.
Heaps fun.
Well, G will take you. She'll show you around.
Yeah, she'll correct me on my
She'll
place
correct
names.
you on everything, and she'll tell you, "Hey, I own this place," and you go, "I don't think that's true."
Broadalbin. That's the one I remember.
Yeah. That's so exciting though. Like for to tick a bucket list item like that off.
Yeah.
That's amazing to have
really
that
cool.
experience.
I did.
And also the crowd as well. Like that would have been incredible.
Yeah, and there's so many people at the Formula One these days too. It's just it was the best way to see them because you're away from them.
Are they moving the Grand Prix to? Are you a fan of the Grand Prix as well?
The motorbikes.
Yeah. Do you like the motor? Yeah, because they're moving that from Phillip Island to Adelaide. Apparently, I heard about that. Us Phillip Island people are just beside ourselves.
Yeah, I'll bet you're furious.
I'm going to get in my Dualis tomorrow and drive to Adelaide.
You should get
Sort them out.
Your family, aren't your family the legacy media down there?
That's right. Yeah. The
some
Murdochs
dirty
of Phillip
write-ups in
Island.
it. Yeah,
they could if they wanted to. The
dirty write-ups
advertiser
in
in
the
the
paper.
paper. Oh my God, they
That'd be
certainly
awesome.
will.
So that's my exciting life. How's your
That's so
exciting life been?
Good. I've been having a great week so far. I've done some gigs. I actually did a country club gig the other week, and it was so funny. Kind of like your club. I was like, what are the I was going to the people because it was a country club, and I was like going, what are the perks of being a member? I want to know. And there was a member door and everything, and so I wasn't allowed through the member door, and I was very respectful. And then I said to someone, what are the perks of being a member? And she said, nothing. I was like, why are you paying? So I just became focused on that. I was so fixated on, well, why are you doing this? This
it's
seems
nothing,
ridiculous.
why is it nothing?
If there's nothing. I was
That's
like, what is
hilarious.
the It's just so funny. I remember this joke. I think it was Mitch Hedberg that had this great joke that was like, I had a club sandwich the other day. I'm not even a member. I think it's just such a great joke to go, how are you getting a club sandwich? I had a club sandwich the other day.
Yeah.
And it was the first non-hotel experience I've ever had a club sandwich.
Yeah.
Because it's just not something that you would ever get. And there's a place in Melbourne that does an incredible club sandwich. And I was like looking at the person I was with going, it was like a business meeting. And I'm sitting there going, is it okay if I have the club sandwich? And she went, you're an adult. Yeah. I guess I am.
I am, but I want my sandwich cut into quarters on little tweezers, please.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But as we're recording this, so we are leading up to the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
So when you're hearing this, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival will be underway, and there are so many goddamn shows you're going to go and see. Are you going to go and see any shows, Scott? Are you?
I'm going to see at least goddamn 80.
Yeah, 80 shows minimum. Always 80 shows.
There's a fantastic podcast called Confessions that it's doing a live show.
Yes,
that
correct.
I'd really love to get along to that.
I can give you a ticket if you want.
Oh.
There's heaps.
But it's still $20 for a photo in the Duellas.
Always $20. Yeah. I'll drive my Duellas out the front of the tram tracks. You can get it. But yeah, come to Comedy Republic. It's going to be heaps of fun. Yeah. But I'm doing 2 live confessions. I think the first one would have been done when you're hearing this, but there's a second one. And it's got Will Anderson, Joel Creasy, and Miff Warhurst.
That is a magnificent lineup.
And dads love Miff.
I love Miff.
Everyone loves Miff. So you're going to come along. You get a photo with Miff if you pay me.
Yeah, $20.
That's the rule.
25 and have a photo in the back of the Duellas.
Oh, yes, that's right. I once had Missy Higgins did a live confessions show, my other podcast. I read online confessions to great guests. Missy Higgins was one of the guests. And oh my God, the line for photos with her. And I was like, she could be charging for that kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like lining people up going, yeah, you can get a photo if you want. I got live cropped out of a photo because someone said, do you want to can we get a photo with you? And I was like, sure. And then I realised that it was on Missy Higgins and them. And I was just not in it. And I was like, I'm just going to stand out of this one. I'll crop myself out.
Like Julia and I have been together 10 years. For the first, I think, 4 years, I had to stand on the edge of family photos. And that was why? Because if I have to cut you out, it's easier. That was actually what I was told.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
And
beautifully put.
And then one day I got, come and stand in the middle.
That's a big moment.
Oh, this is a big moment.
Yeah, this is huge.
You sure?
Did you feel a lot of pressure?
Put a ring on it. I think my smile was like,
yeah.
That day.
Looked like me.
Yeah.
For one day only. Everybody, if you want to leave a 5-star rating, 5-star review, why the hell don't you do that? You can write into sammy@justanothercompany.com.au. You can leave a voicemail. All the links are below. And, of course, we're going to get into I'll just go for it, Scott.
I'm looking at you in horror like, is he going to ask me to say what
No, God, no. I wouldn't put that pressure on you.
I'm not G, mate. I can't do it all.
But she doesn't remember all that stuff either because she just gets upset if I don't mention the portrait peeves at the end, which, G, we promise you that we will do today.
Absolutely.
Scott, you have a story this week.
I have a story, I do. And it's not about the Pixar movie cars.
It's not about the Pixar movie cars.
No. It's actually not. So
it's actually not.
Let's get into it. We'll put the judgmental glasses back on.
Yes.
Little adjust.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Okay. 826 North Rampart Street in New Orleans is a building famous for many strange reasons.
I can't name any.
You will.
Okay,
all
right, after
there'll
this.
be a test.
Quiz me at the end.
From 1996 until 2016, it was home to Priestess Miriam's Voodoo Spiritual Temple.
Can you say that one more time? Priestess?
Priestess Miriam's Voodoo Spiritual Temple.
Okay, sure. I'm on board.
Which was a well-respected establishment. It's a classic-looking New Orleans double-storey building which was mostly rebuilt after a fire in 2016.
Oh.
Behind the main building is a much older Creole-style cottage which was built in 1829 by the famous De Verges family. The family are well known in New Orleans and were a significant part of the 1815 Battle for New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm sure you know all about.
Sure. Are there any priestesses there?
No, I don't think
yet.
so.
No, okay.
Briefly, the Battle of New Orleans is sometimes called the Pointless Battle. Mm-hmm. It occurred as part of the 1812 War of US independence from Britain.
Mm-hmm.
The battle took place on the 8th of January 1815, which was actually around 15 days after the signing of the peace treaty that ended the war.
Oh.
But at the time of the battle, the news of the treaty had not reached New Orleans.
Oh, my God.
So the battle's notable because Major General Andrew Jackson, who went on to be significant in the government, defeated the British with a much smaller American force, and Colonel De Verges was critical to the success of the battle.
Oh, my God. That's huge, though, to keep going with it, even though... Yeah. If news isn't travelling, I guess, what do you do?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Just like, fuck you.
Just go for it, yeah.
The building at 826 Rampart Street has changed little over the years and is now listed as a site of historical significance.
Wow.
Which offers similar protection to Australia's heritage listing.
Sure.
Inside the cottage is a small upstairs apartment which has been leased to all kinds of musicians, artists and vagrants over its history. Mm-hmm. In 2005, it was being leased to Addie Hall and her boyfriend, Zack Bowen.
Annie Hall?
Addie.
Oh. Not from the film.
Not Annie Hall. No.
Okay, right.
Early on August 29th, 2005, the wind started to rage in New Orleans, whipping the water surrounding the town to a foam frenzy until around 7:10 a.m. when Hurricane Katrina smashed into the city with full force.
Oh, wow.
Winds lashed the buildings at over 160 kilometres an hour, and once the levee's protection broke, New Orleans was awash with chaos.
Oh, how awful. Katrina was not kind.
She was not good.
That is awful.
She would have swallowed up your jewelers.
Hey, take that back. Pop your manners back in.
In total, the storm killed more than 1,800 people and destroyed more than 270,000 buildings.
Did you say 1,800 people?
Yep.
Oh, my God. That is huge.
Huge.
It's devastating.
Zack and Addie hunkered down in the little apartment in the French Quarter, and remarkably, once the storm front had passed, they and 826 North Rampart had survived with very little damage.
Wow.
Addie was relieved and grateful and set about helping people she knew and strangers to survive and eventually rebuild their lives.
Wow.
But her relief and her good work would not last. Just over a year later, Addie would be dead in a horrendous murder-suicide.
Oh, my God.
Today, we're investigating the murder of Addie Hall by Zack Bowen.
Oh, my God. I have not heard of this.
Oh,
Are you going to tell me about it?
I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
You just walk out and leave? Okay.
I got you, boo.
You got me, boo.
I got you. Addie Hall was born in January 1976 into a house filled with conflict and abuse. Both Addie's parents were heavy drinkers, and they could ignite into violence quickly with very little provocation. Unfortunately, the violence did not always stay between the adults, and Addie suffered beatings, including one instance of serious concussion which took her to hospital.
Oh, wow. That is so brutal and awful.
Awful.
Yeah.
For a little girl. She moved out of home at 16 and started working at Nina's dance studio to support herself. She worked and moved around the US for nearly 10 years and drifted in and out of a series of relationships with men who did not treat her well.
Was she a dancer? Is that why she worked at the dance studio? Yeah. Oh, my God.
She loved dance. After running from a relationship which had once again fallen into a pattern of abuse, she arrived and settled in New Orleans just before her 26th birthday.
26? My
26.
God.
For the first few months, Addie lived in her car, parking it in the French Quarter at night. According to her friends, Addie was described as free-spirited, feisty and independent.
Yeah.
She had always kept a journal, and she described herself as a quartitarian, someone who lived and thrived in the French Quarter.
Oh, wow. A quartitarian?
Quartitarian.
Yeah. Never heard that before.
Oh, quartitarian.
I'm learning a lot today.
It's a very educational podcast.
Yeah, it is. Another crime podcast available on all the apps. I'll plug it on the own podcast. Doesn't matter.
The link below.
Link below if you want to listen to this podcast. Yeah.
She said she felt most at home riding her bike around the area, helping stray animals to survive by slipping them food she'd taken from her workplace and trying to balance my artistic inner self with the life that surrounds me.
What a good person. Mm-hmm. Just slipping food to stray animals. Like, that's beautiful. Like,
yeah.
Good on you.
She was a nice person.
Addie, beautiful Addie.
But she had a very dark side. She started drinking heavily, with some of her close friends describing her as possibly bipolar and a really mean drunk.
Okay.
Like many abuse victims, Addie had developed a strong survival instinct, which would manifest when she was drinking.
Yeah.
One friend said she would find the thing that upset you, and once she started drinking, she would push and push and push until she broke you.
I've known people like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awful. That's such an awful quality to have.
Just that dark side.
Yeah, and also people tense up when they're drinking as well. It's just not a nice feeling for anyone around. No.
Exactly. Her drinking and her violence became worse around 2003. She started using cocaine and hanging out with the drunks and drug dealers at Bourbon Street. This led to her ending up in a string of abusive relationships between 2003 2005. In early 2005, she finally found work at a local bar called Hogs.
Hogs?
Big.
You got a hog next to you. I'm not pointing at Diggs, by the way. I'm pointing at the warthog toy that he has.
Oh, yeah, the hog.
The hog.
Warthog.
Warthog.
Yep. And this bar was described as a real dive. So there's our main character, Addie.
Yeah, okay. Do you know there's a terrible, terrible film called Hogs, I think, or War Hogs with Tim Allen? Do you remember that?
They're the motorbike one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Hogs. Wild Hogs.
Wild Hogs. I called it.
It's terrible.
Just hogs.
War Hogs. Yeah.
War Hogs. War Hogs is similar, actually. They call me a hog when they see me driving through with my Joellis making all that cash.
They see me rolling.
They see me rolling.
They hating.
Oh, God, they're hating. Let me tell you that. They're hating.
Zack Bowen was born in May 1978 to nomadic parents. He, his older brother and his parents spent Zack's early years travelling around the US in a Volkswagen combi bus. Eventually they settled down on an island in Washington state. Zack's father started drinking heavily and staying out late.
An island in Washington State.
An island.
Yeah, right. Okay. So quite a small place. Like quite a
Yeah. That's the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
Seattle and that. There's a lot of islands out in the water out there. Quite beautiful.
Yeah. You never kind of think of that as a place with islands, but that is, that's fascinating.
They're not tropical.
Oh, they're not
just
tropical.
islands. No. Don't get confused.
People said the same about Phillip Island.
Yep. Well.
I own all the press down there. Don't worry about that.
In 1990, his mother finally became sick of being always left alone at home, and she left Zach's father and moved with her boys to California.
Oh.
Zach was a well-liked child in school. He was into metal and grunge music and was described as being super friendly and super helpful.
Good qualities.
Yeah. He was tall, lanky, and towered over his classmates. He often wore a cape to school.
Well, you glossed over that. What do you mean?
Cape, like a superhero cape.
So what are the two words before that to describe him?
Lanky, tall, friendly and super helpful. Super helpful.
Super helpful. And then you said, and he wore a cape to school.
He often wore a cape to school.
Just as that's completely
Normal.
follows on.
Yeah, follows on.
For some reason, am picturing Zack Woods just because you said the name Zack, and now I'm thinking a tall, lanky guy that wore a cape to school.
Perfect.
He'd do that well.
He was disappointed when he went out for homecoming king and did not get elected.
He was wearing a cape.
Well, yes. In a letter he wrote much later, foreshadowing.
Oh, foreshadowing.
He explained that this was a huge failure for him, not becoming homecoming king.
Well, that's sad. I didn't get it either, Zack. I didn't wear a cape.
I don't think we had homecoming where I was.
Yeah, you didn't have it? I didn't have it either.
I was
actually,
like,
to be honest.
come home.
That's why I didn't win it.
We had come home by 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We didn't have homecoming.
That's why we didn't win it.
Yeah,
that's the only
probably
reason.
Why. His grades and attitude to school changed after the homecoming loss.
Diggs, stop. Diggs.
There's certainly no food up there, Diggs. His grades and attitude to school changed after the homecoming loss, and it seemed to his mother that this is when Zack started focusing on his failures instead of his successes.
Oh, well, that's very sad.
It is. He decided to drop out of school and move back to Washington to live with his father. His father was more of a friend than a parent, and in response to his son coming to live with him, he decided he would set off on an adventure around the US, reliving some of the fun from their past trips.
Oh, okay.
They eventually settled in New Orleans, and thanks to his mother's influence, he re-enrolled in high school.
Oh.
He always stayed in contact with his mum, and he would tell her that living with his dad wasn't really what he had expected, and school was not really for him.
Right, okay.
Zack was now growing into his physical self. He was 6 feet 9 inches tall, and he had lost his teenage puppy fat. He filled out and became quite an imposing character.
Yeah, wow.
His height and build meant people assumed he was much older than he was, and when he moved to New Orleans, he easily got work in bars around the French Quarter.
Okay.
This is where he met 29-year-old Lana Tupac.
Tupac? Mm-hmm. You met Tupac?
Lana Tupac.
You met Tupac?
Yeah, both
Wow.
packs.
Okay, met both packs.
Both packs.
Yeah, got it.
Lana was working as a stripper in Dallas and was visiting New Orleans on a girls' trip. She saw Zack.
yeah.
Yeah. She saw Zack hanging out of a bar window selling Go Cups, which are plastic red drinking cups filled with what they call walking booze in New Orleans.
Oh, so the red cups that are like the American staple that you see in all the Hollywood films and everything. Yeah, right.
Just some walking booze.
Walking booze.
I love it.
I got red cups in my cupboard there.
Maybe we could, after the pod,
Yeah, let's get some red cups. Let's get some walking booze.
Get walking booze. Take
Let's get
Dixie
some
out.
walking booze
Go chilling.
for the boys. Boys trip.
Lana and Zack hit it off right away, and she decided to move permanently to New Orleans to be with Zack.
All right.
She very quickly became pregnant to Zack and was shocked when she realised that he was only 18.
18?
He was 18.
Oh, my God.
And so he should have been 21 to even be working in bars.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. She assumed because he worked in a bar, he was at least 21. That's my next sentence.
Yeah. All right. You nailed it.
Zack's first response was to pull back. He was terrified of being a teenage father. However, when their son Jackson was born...
precautions, Zack, for that sort of stuff. And I'll call you Jack if I want.
There is. Yeah, do it.
I'll call you Jack if I want.
Well, his son's name was Jackson. So
okay. Makes
when
sense.
his son Jackson was born, he immediately shifted gears and became, in Lana's word, an amazing dad.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. They got married and soon had a second child, Lily. In 2000, when Zack was 22 years old and the father of 2, he went back to night school and got his GED, as well as working full-time. That's like his high school diploma.
Yes. Yeah.
Once he had the GED, he was able to join the army as a military policeman.
Oh.
That meant he would get health benefits for his whole family, and because there was no active wars that the US were involved in at the time, he would be stationed on a base near home.
Okay.
This was at the end of 2000.
Yes. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay. Yep.
Then the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened.
Yes.
Zack was deployed to Kosovo and then Baghdad.
Wow.
While on deployment, members of Zack's unit were killed, including a 19-year-old female soldier who was the only woman in the unit who the members of the team felt especially responsible for.
That's so sad. And what a terrifying time as well. Just everyone was so scared and so cautious and, just terrified.
Ring, ring.
Ring, ring.
Buckle in.
Oh, no, not my catchphrase.
Sorry, mate.
You didn't bring my catchphrase into this. I need to bring my catchphrase into this.
A young Iraqi boy who worked in the army encampment and who Zack became friends with was also killed in a mortar attack, which reportedly impacted Zack deeply. On another occasion, he saw a few children playing in the street while he was on patrol. He approached them and offered them some candy, which they accepted. He later found out all 4 children were killed as a punishment for interacting with the American soldiers.
Oh, that is brutal. And oh my God, how awful.
Horrendous.
Yeah,
in
horrendous.
the true sense of the word.
Correct.
Over time, Zack became more and more disillusioned with the army.
Of course.
He was showing clear signs of PTSD from his tours in Baghdad. In addition, the army had issued Zack with boots that did not fit correctly, leading to a severe case of hammer toe.
Oh, okay.
This is where, because there's not enough space in the shoe, one of your toes starts to bend upward and twist into a shape resembling a hammer.
Oh, God. That's just oh, my God. Just contorted and twisted.
Yep. It's very easy to treat by changing your footwear, which Zack couldn't do. So all day, every day, he was wearing shoes which were causing him physical pain and adding to his mental anguish.
Well, the amount of pain because your foot is literally changing and sculpting into a different form. That's, oh, my God.
Zack started to deliberately try to fail his medical assessments in an attempt to be medically discharged and sent
get me
home.
different shoes.
Yeah, that'd be good.
My God.
During this time, Lana was also very sick. She had contracted hepatitis C when she was younger, and this was impacting her health severely.
Yeah.
So, as an aside, according to a study by the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, if you're naughty, 1 in 4 active members of the military show signs of mental health conditions as a direct result of their service. These are the 3 major categories.
Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Most often seen in combat veterans as a result of violence, combat or assault. It manifests in sleep disorders, anger, jumpiness, or alcohol and drug abuse.
Right.
And I remember when I first came home from jail, go back and listen to my episode if you want to know.
No, it's such a funny reference if you don't know.
It'd be great. I went to my therapist who I've been seeing for a long time before all of that went down.
You were dating a therapist?
No, I was just seeing her. We didn't like to put labels on it.
Yeah, okay.
And she said to me, "Oh, we'll have to do something about your PTSD."
Yes, okay.
And I remember saying to her, "No, like that is a word that's used. That's for soldiers. That's for firemen. That's for people that run towards danger, right?" And she was a great woman. She was a fabulous therapist and a terrible human, actually. She said to me, "Well, you have stress, and it's stress that's happened post something that was traumatic in your life.
Yes.
So what the fuck do you want me to call it?"
Right.
And I was like, "Okay, yeah, gotcha.
PTSD is definitely the term.
Understood.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It comes in many different forms. Yeah.
Understood. So the next one is depression is seen in one in 4 active members.
Yeah.
So this is described as a complex range of impacts that can occur, including feelings of helplessness, and helplessness after a traumatic incident, an inability to move on, despair, or languishing. The report states this is not something that you can overcome on your own.
Yeah.
The next one is traumatic brain injury.
Oh, sure.
Now, I went down a rabbit hole about traumatic brain injury, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. I'm good with searches. Because what I realised was a lot of the episodes of not another crime podcast, I don't listen to any others. Link below. A lot of them, the perpetrator has suffered a head injury at some stage in their life.
Yes,
It seems to be like a thing, right? So I went down a rabbit hole looking at what this is, right?
Sure.
So injuries to the front of the head in particular are known to cause damages to the areas of the brain which control impulse, aggression, self-control, and judgment. TBI, traumatic brain injury, has been studied and shown to impact the ability to consider consequence, and it also lowers your threshold for aggression.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A study in the USA studied patients who presented with a 10 or lower on the Glasgow scale, which I'll explain what the Glasgow scale is.
I know it's outside of Edinburgh.
Yeah, but what I love is this thing's called the Glasgow scale. So from the city that invented the headbutt.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
the severity of a brain injury is done on the Glasgow scale.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. The Glasgow scale is a way to measure the severity of a head injury. So it rates things like a patient's on an eye response, verbal response, and motor response. Mm-hmm. The combined score is an index of the next severity of the impairment. So they use it in a lot of hospitals.
Yeah.
And it's things like the best eye response you can have is a spontaneous eye response, and that's a +4. But if your eyes aren't opening, it's a +1.
Right, okay.
Your best verbal response is incomprehensible sounds and words is a +2, but good verbal response and oriented is a +5.
Yep.
So the lower the score, the worse the damage is.
Okay.
So the study concluded that patients that score a 10 or lower demonstrated reduced social judgment, heightened impulsiveness, an increased lack of inhibition post-injury, and exhibited increased aggression and a lack of control. One part of the study compared war veterans who had incurred a head injury to a control group who had not. Mm-hmm. The soldiers who had been injured were rated as more aggressive and less able to stop violent language turning into actual physical violence.
Okay, sure.
Just going with the clipboard here.
Yep, it's good.
So violent injury to the brain of a young person is believed to have even more impact. One long-term study in Ontario followed 94 children between the ages of 5 and 14 years old after a traumatic brain injury. I just want to note that these children were not victims of violence. Mm-hmm. The injuries were through sporting activity, play, or non-violent accidents.
Yep. Okay, sure.
64% of these children studied showed the same range of personality change. They showed heightened aggression, lack of inhibition, and were behind their peers in the development of emotional intelligence.
Oh, wow.
As adults, half the children were diagnosed with ADHD, oppositional defiance order, or schizophrenia.
Wow.
A study from Finland concluded that TBI in children or adolescents was linked to a 4 times increased risk of criminal offending.
My God.
So, is it possible that there's a link between violence and traumatic brain injury?
Yes.
Yes, it's possible.
Okay, yep.
Let's go through a couple of examples, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Rogers, the cross-country killer. Multiple self-inflicted head injuries between the age of 4 and 6 years.
Oh, right, okay.
Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
At 2 years old, a dresser fell on his head, causing significant injury that required more than 30 stitches to repair.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing that, yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown, beaten unconscious at 6 years old by his father using a broomstick as a weapon.
Oh, my God.
Pedro Filio, who's a Brazilian serial killer that I'll do an episode on soon. His mother was kicked so hard by her husband while pregnant that Pedro was born with a fractured skull.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's awful.
It's an awful start to life. David Berkowitz, the son of Sam, at 6 years old, was struck by a car outside his home, resulting in significant head injury.
Oh.
Albert Fish, the werewolf of Wisteria.
Yes.
Why do we give these people such cool names?
I don't know.
Why don't we, like the suck-ass of
fuckhead of Wisteria. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I don't know. At 7 years old, he fell from a tree and landed on his head. Ed Gein, beaten regularly by his father between the ages of 4 and 7, resulting in multiple instances of losing consciousness.
Let me just say, what a boring series.
It wasn't a great series.
It wasn't great, was it?
No. Even good old Charlie Hunnam couldn't save it. I like him.
No, they should have done Eileen Wuornos or Fred and Rosemary West would have been another choice that they could have gone with.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I was about to say good choice, but not a good choice. Definitely not good.
Bad good choice.
Bad good choice.
A couple more. Ian Brody, the Moors murderer, at 6 years old, was playing with a balloon in his kitchen. He slipped and split his head open on the corner of a kitchen bench. Oh. Then a heavy bowl fell off the bench and struck him on the head. Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper.
Oh, yeah.
Born premature with the cord wrapped around his neck, starving him of oxygen.
I had to talk about Peter Sutcliffe because I did an episode recently on Shannon Matthews.
Yes.
And there was, and Peter Sutcliffe was mentioned briefly in that. And I have to do an episode on Peter Sutcliffe soon.
So in his autopsy, it was found he had a brain tumour in his frontal lobe, which the doctor...
Peter Sutcliffe?
Yep.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Which the doctor said was likely there as a result of the starvation of oxygen and was likely to have impacted his behaviour from an early age.
I obviously haven't looked into that one yet, but that is fascinating.
Arthur Shawcross, the Genesee River killer, hit in the head by a discus at a sporting event when he was 8 years old.
A discus?
Yep. The BTK killer, Dennis Rader, dropped on his head as a baby, stopped breathing, lost consciousness, was not taken to hospital for treatment.
Wow.
Addie Hall.
How many more of these you got? Oh, Addie Hall, yep.
Suffered severe beatings as a child, including one causing serious consumption. And unfortunately, Zack Bowen, also suffered potential traumatic brain injury after multiple IED explosions on the vehicles he was travelling in caused head strikes in the interior of the car.
Oh, wow.
Zack was also showing signs of PTSD and depression after the death of his female colleague and witnessing the violence against children in particular during his active duty. So I think we can say there's a link. There's some sort of correlation.
Yeah,
there's some sort of correlation. And it's not an excuse.
No.
I'll make that clear again given where this story goes.
Yes,
but I will. So after failing his medical test for the second time, the army removed him from active duty on the ground in Baghdad and instead sent him to a calmer workplace, Abu Ghraib prison.
Oh, my God. Okay. Right. Yep.
Right.
Good choice.
Good choice. Eventually, Zack was given a general discharge. He received a NATO medal and a presidential citation for his service, and there is no military record of him ever receiving any kind of mental health support. He came home with a medal, depression, and serious PTSD.
Oh, my God. And you know what? George W. Bush gives you a little medal and whatever.
Sends you on your way.
Sends you on your way.
Because he received a general discharge and not an honourable discharge, his medical treatment as a civilian would not be covered by the US government.
What's an honourable discharge? It's just like that you've served your time, you've done really well, and you go and you've got all medical and everything paid
so
for.
you're on a pension. You keep all your benefits.
Yeah, okay,
basically.
right.
So you go get another job, but you keep your health benefits, you keep your pension benefits and stuff.
Yes, okay.
But because he received a general discharge, he did not. He was on his own.
Right.
When he came home, he was permanently changed. He and Lana started having difficulties, partly due to his depression and PTSD, and partly due to money stress. When he suggested Lana should go back to stripping to help them make their ends meet, she decided enough was enough, and she left Zack, taking the kids with her.
Oh, wow.
Zack moved permanently.
Very similar to her, like his childhood as well.
Yeah, very similar. Zack moved permanently to the French Quarter and worked several odd jobs before landing a semi-permanent bartending gig at a place called Hogs.
Hogs, not wild hogs.
Not wild hogs,
Different,
not war hogs.
Different again, not war hogs.
None of those. Addie's first impression of Zack was that she was not interested in him.
Sure.
In her words, he was a big, dumb frat boy, and she didn't understand why women fawned over him.
Women were fawning over him?
Fawning.
Oh, my God.
I know. Zack said he was immediately attracted to her. He would finish his shift and then sit at the end of the bar just to chat and get to know Addie. She liked to give him a hard time and play the mean girl. She wrote in her journal it was just a way of flirting to test how much of it he could handle.
Okay.
Eventually she gave in and they started dating in July 2005. They had a whirlwind romance full of parties and partying.
Parties and partying?
Yep, all of it. Life was fueled by little sleep, lots of alcohol and plenty of cocaine.
Sure.
While they were a fun couple to be around, their friends also remembered outrageous and explosive arguments. Addie had been diagnosed by now with bipolar, but if she wanted to party, she would not take her meds because of how they made her feel.
Oh, sure, okay.
And combining that with Zack's PTSD was often a fiery cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
They'd only been dating a few weeks when the threat of Hurricane Katrina started to loom over the city. Addie had a small apartment at 826 North Rampart Street, and she decided she could survive the storm there in some level of safety.
Yeah, right, okay.
Zack had every intention of leaving the city and sheltering with his ex-wife Lana and the kids. Lana even offered for Addie to come with him so that she was safe too.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she was a good person.
Yeah.
Zack went to find Addie and tell her, but her fierce independence, along with a refusal to share Zack with anyone, especially his ex-wife and children, meant she insisted on staying, and Zack stayed with her.
Wow, okay.
Once the storm passed, there was no electricity, no running water, and no services. However, the French Quarter survived comparatively unscathed. There was a small gang of survivors who had not left the city, and with their extroverted natures, Addie and Zack somewhat took charge of the group, becoming really well known in the French Quarter. They worked every day between groups of survivors, trading food with one group, then swapping that with water from another group and bringing supplies back to their encampment. Addie was also very focused on the animals which had been abandoned in the city and would go from ruined house to ruined house, finding and caring for them.
Wow.
Zack and Addie were so swept up in the romance of their existence, they were oblivious to the horrendous conditions even in the Superdome just a few blocks away.
Yeah, wow.
The couple became known across the US for their activism, and they were featured in an article in the New York Times.
Oh, my God, okay. Yeah, wow.
When the 82nd Airborne finally deployed to New Orleans, Zack and Addie stood on the roof of their home and watched hundreds of soldiers marching into New Orleans with tanks, aircrafts, boats and guns.
Wow.
The military action, the vast amount of death and the general destruction had an enormously negative impact on Zack, triggering his PTSD and sending him spiralling.
Wow.
He started having flashbacks and nightmares. Zack started using drugs to stabilise his sleep. At the same time as the city came back to life, Addie became more depressed.
Mm-hmm.
She loved the idea of being pirates, having the city to themselves, having Zack to herself.
Right.
And she longed for the time before the world came and broke their little bubble.
Yeah, okay.
She could also not get her prescription for bipolar in the chaos of New Orleans post-Katrina, and so she independently decided to mix herself a cocktail of drugs she could find to help stabilise her mind.
Oh, no. Okay.
A little bit more foreshadowing.
Yeah, more foreshadowing.
I had a big tail in my
You
face.
did, yeah, and you gave him a
Dickie.
big hug pat.
Oh,
Diggs, over here.
He's
Diggs.
loving me.
Oh, he is the best.
Addie wrote in her journal that she just wanted Zack, not his ex-wife and not his fucking kids.
Oh, my God, okay.
Their bills were piling up again, and they were both drinking and taking drugs, and only one or other of them seemed to be able to hold down a job at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Violence started to creep back into their relationship, and they began to drift apart. They couldn't afford their bills and their drugs, and Addie allowed friends to stay with them in Rampart Street in a collective commune-style situation.
Oh, my God, okay. He's becoming a bit of a cult.
It's coming a cult, yeah. Addie found out that despite Zack telling people he was deeply in love with her, he was having sex with most of the women and some of the men who would stay at the apartment.
Oh, my God, okay. Wow.
In September 2006, having found out about his affairs, Addie gave Zack an ultimatum.
How long after this is after Katrina? Is it 2003?
I'd have to go back to.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, but it's a bit of time.
It's a little bit of time.
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Life is coming back to normal.
Yeah, okay, right.
In September 2006, having found out about his affairs, Addie gave Zack an ultimatum, and everyone was moved out of the apartment.
Oh, wow.
Addie went to their landlord on the 3rd of October and asked that the lease be changed so it was only in her name.
Oh, okay.
The landlord refused and told her to go home and try and work things out with Zack.
So she wanted him out? That was the plan?
I think so. The landlord was the last person to see her alive.
Oh, my God.
Addie was furious that the landlord had not changed the lease. On October 5th, she stole Zack's phone and sent a text to all his contacts saying he had just been diagnosed with AIDS.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, a little bit petty. She threw all Zack's things into the forecourt of the building and she barricaded the door so he couldn't get in.
Wow.
Neighbours around their building reported a huge argument that night. By all of the reports, Addie was the main antagonist.
Right, okay.
Screaming at Zack, calling him sexual and racial slurs.
Wow.
There were sounds of things being thrown and glass smashing. The next day, several neighbours saw Zack, who apologised for the fight and said Addie was recovering from a hangover, so please leave her to sleep.
Wow, okay.
So I'm just going to pause the telling of the story here because I want to make something really clear.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we've explored Zack and Addie's lives and some of the flaws that make them both human. But what we're about to talk about is the crime.
Mm-hmm.
Zack is a flawed character, and I feel empathy for him that he was never offered the help that he needed to understand his trauma. But I do want to be really clear that I do not consider Zack and Addie the same in this story. They were both flawed, but only one was murdered, and that was Addie.
Right, okay.
Addie is the victim in this story, and I don't want anyone to think that by showing empathy for Zack, we're minimising the horror of what we're about to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
Addie is the victim.
Yeah, okay.
And take a breath as I sort out my clipboard. On October 17th, 2006, the police received a call reporting that the body of a man had been seen on the roof of the parking garage at the Omni Royal Hotel in New Orleans. The police arrived and confirmed the person, a male, had died on impact. They surveyed the scene and on checking his pockets found a Ziploc bag. Inside the bag were his army dog tags, which identified him as Zachary Bowen.
Okay.
According to a friend, Zack had left his home about 3 p.m. on October 17th with a bag of cocaine. Hotel security video shows Zack ordering several beers from the bar and then going to the rooftop pool where he drank beer and snorted cocaine. He walks to the edge of the roof several times. Then just before 8:30 p.m, he snorts something off a table and throws himself off the roof.
Oh, my God.
Also in the Ziploc bag was a folded note that had "For the police" written on the front. When they opened the note, it read, "This is not accidental. I had to take my own life for the one that I took. If you send a patrol to 826 North Rampart, you will find the dismembered corpse of my girlfriend Addie. In the fridge, you will find identification documents for both of us and a full confession from me. The keys in my pocket will open the gate, or call Leo Watermeyer, who will let you in. It was signed Zack Bowen.
Oh my God, a dismembered.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's horrific.
Mm-hmm. The police who raced to 826 North Rampart described the apartment as like something out of a horror film. The room was freezing. They found the air conditioner had been set to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 16 degrees Celsius.
Oh, okay.
One officer said it felt like the inside of a morgue. There was trash and drug paraphernalia all over the lounge. The walls were painted with phrases like, I am a failure, and call my kids and tell them I love them. Below this was Lana's phone number.
Oh, so sad.
On one wall was a message that read, check the oven, with an arrow pointing to the kitchen. Now, if you're listening, you can skip ahead with this part because it's a bit grim.
Oh, my God.
Don't have kids in the car.
Don't have kids in the car this bit.
Police found Addie's burned head in a pot on the stove.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Her hands were in a smaller pot and her feet were in a third. Her arms and legs were covered with what the police described as Cajun seasoning and were in the oven. Her torso was wrapped in plastic in the fridge. There was a steel bowl filled with chopped potato, carrot and onion in the fridge next to Annie's torso.
What the fuck? He was going to eat her.
Well,
Is that the plan, do you think?
well, I know.
Well, you know, sorry.
I'll tell you.
You know, tell me as well.
On top of the bowl was one of Addie's journals in which Zack had written an 8-page confession. In part, it read this. Today is Monday the 16th of October. I killed her at 1 a.m. on October 5th, it read. I very calmly strangled her. It was very quick. He went on to explain that after he had killed her, he was filled with energy and so had sex with her corpse several times to calm himself down before going to sleep next to her.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Zack's confession went on to say it took him more than 4 days to decide how best to dispose of Addie's remains.
4 days.
4 days. He only decided after this time to cook her remains to try and make them easier to dispose of. From the confession, he said, the decision to halt the first idea and move to plan B, the crime scene you are now in, came after a while. I scared myself not by the action of calmly strangling the woman I've loved for 1.5 years and then desecrating her body, but by my entire lack of remorse. I've known forever how horrible of a person I am, ask anyone, and decided to quit my jobs and spend the cash I had being happy until I killed myself. So that's what I did. Good food, good drugs, good strippers, good friends, and any loose ends I may have had. I didn't contact any of my family, so that might explain the shock. And I've had a fantastic time living out my days. It's just about time to end it now.
Holy shit, what a psychopath.
What a psychopath.
Yeah.
A very damaged man.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip some details. I'm
Okay.
not going to go into all the details. But Zack went on to explain that he had not initially decided to dismember Addie, and that idea had come when he started to think about how he would get rid of her body. He had thought if he could separate her flesh from her bones, it would be easier to dispose of. His confession stated that he needed to end out my days with good food, good drugs and good strippers. From the 5th until the 17th when he suicided, Zack emptied his and Addie's bank accounts, spending around $4,500. He would smoke cigarettes and then burn himself with them, one burn for every time I remembered I was a failure, he wrote in his confession.
He'd what, sorry? What was that?
He'd burn himself with a cigarette,
Like a burning
one
okay.
burn for every time I remembered I was a failure.
Oh, my God.
During the 12 days between Addie's murder and Zack's suicide.
12 days?
12 days.
Wow.
He even went to work, joking with a co-worker that Addie had gone back to home for a while in North Carolina. The co-worker remembers him saying she was going to pieces.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I know. Zack's confession ended with, I had a fantastic time living out the last of my days. It's just now I am out of time.
I hate this story.
I know.
Yeah. It's awful.
Tell me you like how I'm saying it, though.
Yeah, I like how you're saying it, though.
Okay, thank you. Tell me you like me. Because the perpetrator of the crime had confessed and suicided, there was no court case.
Sure.
The police confirmed the identity of Addie Hall, pieced together the timeline as best they could, and lodged their report. Once the coroner had completed his findings, the police contacted Addie and Zack's family to advise them that their loved one could be returned to them. Now, I'll note that many people tie voodoo to this case because of the location of the apartment.
Right, okay.
And because of Addie's remains being cooked, there's an implication of cannibalism.
Yeah.
The coroner found no evidence of cannibalism when he examined the context of Zack's digestive system and found no evidence of a spiritual connection in the murder-suicide.
Right. But it could have been the state he was in. Maybe he thought about that because of seasoning and everything as well, and then went, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, very easily could have been. Very
Oh,
easily.
my God.
Lana took custody of Zack's remains and is buried in an undisclosed location near where she now lives with their children. Lana has repeatedly asked that she and her children be left to mourn the death of two people her children loved. Initially, Addie's body lay unclaimed in the New Orleans morgue for months. She had a damaged relationship with her parents and wider family, and no one was initially willing to collect her remains.
So heartbreaking.
It's so sad. Eventually, her maternal uncle came to New Orleans to bring her home. Adrienne Matthias Hall, Addie, was buried in the cemetery at the Gateway Baptist Church in North Carolina. Her parents refused to allow the word daughter to be added to the gravestone.
Oh, my God, how sad.
I know, awful.
Oh, what a life. That's so sad.
The current minister of the church has said that he's amazed that 20 years later, Addie's grave is still regularly adorned with flowers and notes from strangers.
Oh.
Addie would have turned 50 on January the 5th this year.
Oh, my God. What a hard, awful life. And then the way it ended, just so horrific.
Imagine how scared. I can't imagine it.
No.
There's a saying that as long as people remember your name, your story never really dies. A few resourceful people in New Orleans have kept Addie and Zack's story alive. 10 years after the gruesome murders, priestess Miriam moved her voodoo temple out of 826 North Rampart Street. She told a local reporter that several people who had leased the apartment since the horror had reported paranormal activity.
Wow.
Margaret Sanchez, who was a friend of Addie's, had leased the apartment in 2011. In 2012, she and her boyfriend lured Yaren Lockhart, a stripper and a young mother, back to the apartment with the promise of a big paycheck for a private dance. They murdered her and dismembered her body, throwing it over a bridge.
Scott. The story gets worse and worse.
I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
In her trial, Margaret tried to claim that the impact of living in Addie's apartment had contributed to her madness and caused her to go along with her boyfriend's plans for murder. Margaret was sentenced to 40 years for second-degree murder and 20 years for obstruction of justice and conspiracy to commit murder.
Wow.
After Priestess Miriam moved out of 826 North Rampart, Mary Milan leased the building and apartment. She opened Bloody Mary's Haunted Museum and tours.
Okay.
She would start each tour telling the story of Addie's murder. In the apartment, the stove had never been replaced, and Mary added fake blood to it for effect.
Oh, Mary, what are you doing?
Oh, no. She initially used mannequins to recreate the scene, but after several complaints from locals, they were removed.
Yes, I'm complaining as well, Mary.
Yeah, me too.
Add me to that.
Yeah. Mary had to face multiple complaints in local court, with one friend of Addie's saying it is despicable and exploitative. Mary defended herself, claiming that Addie was still at the apartment. It would be pretty stupid to pretend her spirit isn't there, Mary had said. She claimed people were just jealous that they hadn't thought of doing it first.
Yeah, I don't think you can say that, Mary, as a defence. It doesn't hold up in court. People are just jealous.
I don't.
What my mum said to me when people were rude to me at school and stuff. People were just jealous.
Your Honour.
Your Honour. Yeah. Her Magistrate, I implore you.
They were just jealous.
I was jealous, Your Magistrate.
In 2017, the TV show Paranormal Lockdown did an episode on the apartment. The investigators reported sensing a cold draft in the bathroom
God.
where the window was. Addie and Zack's story can be viewed in more than one light. Some people tell the story as the tragedy of a gentle man who had never been violent before, racked with PTSD, impacted by a fierce storm and a military takeover of his city. Driven mad by circumstances and hiding in drug addiction to survive, Zack committed an unthinkable atrocity. Others say this is the story of a free-spirited, feisty and independent woman who was trying to thrive after a difficult start to her life.
I go with option 2.
I go with option 2. She found a place she felt at home, and her life was tragically cut short by her violent and drug-addicted boyfriend. As I said before, my strong opinion is Addie is the victim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, the truth, as is so often the case, lies somewhere in between these two versions. No one knows what happened on October 5th. No one knows what events led to Addie's murder and Zack's subsequent suicide. Only the apartment at 826 North Rampart Street, New Orleans, bears witness. And despite Mary Millen's assertions, the apartment remains silent.
Oh my God. That is an awful, awful, awful story. Very well told. But just awful. Like, how did you, when you were researching that, was there just like a lot of information out there? Like, was that something that's just, a lot of people have different theories and
I had to take breaks when I was researching
of course.
because this one was hard.
Yeah.
I saw a clip. There's a history thing that I follow on Instagram, and they did a little clip because it was going to be Addie's 50th birthday.
Oh, okay.
I started reading the story and then researched the story. There's a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
It's really well known in that part of the world. But just tragedy on tragedy on tragedy.
Yeah.
I did write a little thing at the bottom here that said, for the benefit of our listener who likes to track places to find out more.
Oh,
so to add to our spreadsheet.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a book called Shake the Devil Off about this case. There's an Apple TV series, Handsome Devils, and the Prime TV show Final Witness also has an episode about Addie and Zack.
Oh, Lewis, if you want to add that, feel free.
Yeah, take it.
Feel
Take
free,
that,
Lewis. So in that, like, did you watch any of those shows, or you haven't watched them yet? Those?
Yeah, I've watched some of the Apple TV show.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really it's quite a good show. Like,
Yeah.
they tend to produce things quite well. But yeah, I wanted to read the book, but then having gone through and
Oh my God, the details
story,
as well. It's horrific.
There's a lot of detail about the crime scene that I left out.
Yes.
Because I just think we don't
need to know
We don't
all
need to go
those.
that dark.
No.
not cool.
And you know enough from that how horrific it was. And it was
Yeah.
just, oh my God. And the dismemberment and
Yeah.
and it felt like there was some kind of cannibalism happening there.
It's certainly cannibal adjacent. I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah. There was something very, very wrong with Zack. And
Yes.
there was clearly a point where he's broken, but
Yes.
I don't think that's an excuse for murder. I don't think it's ever.
No,
an excuse
not
for
at
murder.
all. But it is an interesting part of it as well. And then also what he experienced in the army, and then how he came back a changed person. Like, that's really interesting.
And no
part of it.
support, right? Like,
No support at all.
That's the bit that makes me the saddest. Is
Yeah.
there must be. I remember my dad when he was my age, actually, when I think he was about 50, did a motorcycle tour on his own around the US.
Yeah.
And he ended up in Los Angeles, and he got there just after all the banks closed here in Australia, but before anything opened over in the US.
Yeah.
So, and it was back in the day before internet banking and stuff. And he wanted to stay at a hostel, but he didn't have enough cash to pay for the night. And he offered them the keys to his motorbike, and they said, no, you need to pay cash. So he was lining up to sleep on the beach in LA. And a guy came over to him and said, what are you doing? He's like, oh, well, I didn't know this is my situation.
Yeah.
And this guy said to him, no, the beach isn't safe. Come with me. And he took him to a homeless encampment. So this guy was homeless. He was I think he was an Air Force veteran.
Yeah.
He'd been injured. He was waiting for the payout for his injury and he couldn't work. But whilst he was waiting, he'd lost his house because he couldn't pay for his house. His wife had left him and had become estranged from his kids and homeless.
Oh my God.
And that's the system, I think, in parts of the world where you don't have universal health care, right?
Yep.
And you do wonder whether there might have been a different outcome for Zack if he had got the help he wanted. There might have been a different outcome from Addie if she had got the help that she needed as well, because she was diagnosed as bipolar.
Yeah.
And it just makes it more of a tragedy.
There's no winners there in any situation. Like, everyone, the story is so sad for everyone that it affected, and their childhoods, and like, I mean, Addie's childhood, it's just so sad. Like, her life is just heartbreaking to think about what she endured and then what happened to her in the end. That is just so sad.
And like, she's never going to see Nissan Joalas.
Ever. No one in there will.
No. So sad.
That is probably the saddest part of the story. I agree.
Part of all.
Oh my God, how sad. Well, we'll be back after this with a mailbag.
Fabulous. Sparkling personality. It's actually not from the Champagne region of France. It's just called sparkling personality.
Yeah, it's in a bottle. You can bottle that shit.
Otherwise, it's a champagne personality.
Everybody, we're doing the goddamn mailbag section right now. While G's away, Scott is filling in as co-host. Does it feel good?
It feels good. I'm
Feels
super
right.
excited about mailbag. I am going to point out, just for the record though, last time I was here, I had a little whinge about never being able to sit on the couch with Diggs.
Yeah.
And I just told a story, so I still haven't got to...
I know, and you never will.
We're going,
No, you will next time. You will next time, absolutely.
no way. I'm doing it from the back of a Joalis.
Yeah, always from the back of a Joalis from now on.
Yeah.
Now, we have some beautiful, beautiful people that continue to write in, and we just love to hear from people. If you want to write in, Sammy at justanothercompany.com.au, you can leave us a voicemail, you can leave a goddamn speak pipe, well, they're the same thing really, but you can also leave an email, Sammy at justanothercompany.com.au.
Speak pipe's the name of
it's the name of the website, and
right?
people get very confused every time. We get very confused, as you can just tell. I got very confused thinking they were different things for once in my goddamn life. Also, you gave our beautiful, beautiful boy Diggs a goat's horn.
A goat horn.
A goat horn. Where'd you get a goat's horn from?
Coles.
They just have a goat's horn.
They're just casually
That's
there
so interesting.
at all times.
Oh, my God. Okay.
In the dog treat section where you can pick individual things, there's goat horn there.
Oh, my God.
I was looking because I always like to bring Diggs your treat so I can be the favourite uncle.
Well, it's very, very nice, and you are the favourite uncle. We have this person who's anonymous. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Georgia, you bloody legends. I've been meaning to send you this idea for the podcast. I've never, ever heard any other podcast talk about it. I don't know if it's due to lack of information, but I'll try and find some links for you to start with. It's a story of the murder of Moira Jones in Queen's Park, Glasgow.
Right.
Have you heard of that?
I have not.
The Jones family started a charity afterwards to help families of people bereaved through violent deaths at the hands of another. They help families with the cost of attending court as well as other things.
That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
That sounds like a cool story. I love that your listeners give you homework.
Oh, absolutely. They all give us homework. I just thought maybe this would be something a bit different that I've never heard anyone else talk about. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. We always are having a lovely weekend.
Let's
Isn't
pretend
that nice,
it's the
though?
Weekend too.
Pretend it's the weekend. We can pretend it's the weekend
that's
tonight.
cool.
Have some
That's
more
really
jams,
cool.
kick back.
Yeah.
That's our weekend, baby.
That's
Gonna
it.
have
Moira
some fun.
Jones.
Moira Jones.
Look into that one.
Absolutely. Isn't that interesting, though? Because all over the world, people always have a crime that they're fascinated with. And I find that the people always have... Like the first time you came on the podcast, you told us a story about Raina that, that you were fascinated with. And so it's interesting that all parts of the world, there is someone that just has a crime that they can't stop thinking about. Yeah. Do you have any others that kind of happened in your hometown or anything that you can kind of remember being fascinated with growing up? Not
in our hometown. No, there's things I remember that I'd love to research, but they're more about history. Like like Ronald Ryan. I've written the story of Ronald Ryan, who was the last person hanged in Australia. I've always found that one really fascinating.
Absolutely.
And when I researched it, it's way more interesting than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I tend to remember, like, the thing that I remember, the traumatic event, quote unquote, I remember most from my childhood was the dust storm. From about 1983, there was this massive dust storm that came down from Mildura from the Mallee and just ran right across.
Oh, my God.
And I remember being sheltering in the...
You're getting choked up thinking about it just now. Yeah, it's too much for
Don't you start or I'll start.
Yeah, I'll start bawling my eyes out over you.
I remember sheltering in the portable classroom. You know, we had portables at our school and they were shaking and there's dust everywhere. And that's the sort of stuff I remember. There wasn't a lot of crime in Mooroolbark that I know about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, write in if you know of any that we can tell Scott
if you know crimes from Mooroolbark.
If you know any crimes. Yeah. How about this one from Lou? Hi, Georgia and Sammy. Been meaning to write for a while, but the to-do list is never ending. I love the pod, always love true crime podcasts, but yours hits next level. The banter, laughs and jokes remind me of chatting with friends, and it's a nice break from the sometimes gruesome crimes. Sorry about today. It's a perfect balance of intriguing crimes and lightheartedness. Thank you. Roofman has been a bit of a fave with a good reason. I worked at Toys R Us while I was at uni, and my ex-fiance there, I met my ex-fiance there. I'm so sorry that you're now ex-fiance.
Yeah.
We both worked there while studying, then started hanging out outside of work, but pretty quickly began dating and fell in love.
But can I say, if she's your ex-fiance, the beautiful Georgia has another podcast called Everyone Has an Ex.
Yes, that's true.
So maybe you could...
Oh, you could actually pitch for that as well.
Yeah, you could pitch for that.
Even though we ended the relationship over 15 years, we're still great friends, so maybe not. Maybe not a good pitch for Everyone Has an Ex. I'd never heard the story of Roofman, but found it hilarious. We would have loved that to happen at our store. So someone living in the store. That's fun.
It's because it was so boring.
Which is that any extra excitement would have been welcomed.
Yep.
My favourite part of the episode was when you played George's friend giving the Toys R Us store closing speech, you'll be very pleased to know that straight away my muscle memory kicked in and I too could remember all the words and have been repeating it to myself and my cat every few days since to make sure I don't forget it. I immediately texted my ex about the episode and the movie and had a little laugh reminiscing about our time working together at Toys R Us. Now, she wrote TRU, Toys R Us. It's in her blood. Yeah. The times we would see that a child had vomited in an aisle or worse, pooped, and we would pretend not to see it and immediately walk in the other direction and wait for someone else to see it and clean it up. Or the pogo stick races in the back storeroom. Or the times the parents would ask us to check out the back through hundreds of boxes for a particular Star Wars figurine and we would just stand out the back for 10 minutes chatting instead. I always think that happens in stores anyway. Yeah. Thanks for helping the podcast. Thanks for keeping the podcast going over the summer and holiday season. I didn't listen at the time, but I had the best time catching up when I restarted work and had a delightful bank of podcasts to listen to while sitting at my desk. It was a lifesaver for returning to work. Keep up the giggles, and I'm happy to hear you both are as obsessed with your pets as I am. Lou. P.S. Please tell me you are excited to see Bad Bunny's performance at Super Bowl. Oh, so this is before. Wow. Bad Bunny's. No fucks given about the football, but Bad Bunny is everything. Now, didn't your partner Julia go to Bad Bunny?
So much to talk to Lou about. Yeah, my partner went and married Bad Bunny. Yeah. I think a number of people in the crowd did. She came home with a new husband and a life changing
experience. Oh my God. Yeah.
She absolutely loved it. She said it was a once in a lifetime concert. She said it was just incredible.
My God.
Just absolutely
just
stunning.
The best.
Just the best.
Well, it was so cool. Like, the performance was so cool to see. Yep. And people who hadn't heard of Bad Bunny before, like I certainly hadn't heard of Bad Bunny, and it was just so cool. Is Julia like a fan of Bad Bunny?
Julia's from Central America,
right? Yeah.
So she obviously, she most of her music and most of her growing up's been in Spanish.
Yeah.
But yeah, she absolutely loves him. She loves a lot of his songs sound groovy, but they're quite political.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of that in there. And he said something in the press the other day. He said, a lot of people criticise me in English, but my response is to not give a fuck in Spanish.
That's so good. That's great. I
love that. I love it.
Is they kind of very, it was such a show that he did at the halftime. Is that kind of what he does or day to day?
Yeah, the show's huge. So that pink house he had, the casita, is like that's part of the whole story of that album.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they're not like, when you translate the lyrics to English, they're just normal sort of songs. You know, like Mas Fotos, that one.
Yeah.
That one, he just says, I should have taken more photos when I had you. I should have hugged you more while you were mine. Yeah. You know, it's a very just normal sort of love song. But he's
and
just
fuck the government.
He's just, and fuck the government.
And also fuck the government.
He's just quietly. But he's got a presence, that bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so cool.
I do have other things to share with Lou. I also am obsessed with my pets.
Yeah.
I've got two Groodle. I've got a Groodle and a Cavoodle.
You sounded unsure when you said Groodle.
Well, I was going to say I've got a Doodle, and then I knew what you'd say to that.
I wouldn't say a goddamn thing.
We and our littlest's name's Lupita, and we've had her for a few years now, and she has decided that her job in her life is to keep Julia alive.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So if Julia's home, she needs to be with her, and if she's sitting on the couch, she needs to sit on her preferably, or next to her if not, because that's the best way to keep her alive.
Sure. Yes.
So she is equally obsessed with her as we are.
Yeah.
You know, it goes both ways with her. But no, I was going to say about the Toys R Us theme.
Yeah.
There's things like that I remember from my childhood. You know, like the theme song to Kimber the White Lion, for example.
Yeah.
I could sing it. I won't.
You can if you want.
All right. Who's the king of animals in Africa? Who's the one who brings the jungle pain? Who's the king of animals in Africa? Kimber the White Lion is his name. And then there's two more verses, which I also know. I don't remember how old my parents are, but I remember all the words.
Yes.
Kimber the White Lion.
Yeah.
Julia's dad does that. We'll be driving along somewhere here, and he'll see a sign, and then like 3 Ks down the road, he'll just go, Travago. Just randomly say what he saw on the sign. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite things about driving in the car with him. Or he'll just go, good different.
Good difference.
Because he's remembered the Aldi theme, so he just says it out loud.
Oh, that's so good. And muscle memory when
fabulous.
it takes over as well and you just remember something so well. Like, I remember my whole school song. There's bits that go, that'll never, ever serve me well again.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
I just love that it's there.
Yeah,
like, I
that's
love
right.
that you kind of have it.
I've
And if
got
someone
that, yeah.
else goes, you go, I love that. I'm going to start doing it too.
Love it.
This comes from Lauren. Hello, I have a truly horrendous, correct use of the word, story to suggest. Alison Botha, South Africa, 1994. I found it awful, but also very powerful. Love the pod. I found it in the second half of last year, so I had plenty of content to catch up on now. I'm sad that I'm up to date because I now have to wait for every Monday and Thursday. Good on you, Lauren.
I know about that story.
Do
that
you really?
story is truly horrendous.
Oh,
I think
wow.
If it's
Okay,
the one
yeah.
I'm thinking of, she was
1994.
she was
South Africa.
like eviscerated and left for dead. That
Oh
lady.
my God. Okay. Well, we
I
have
think
to
she
do that
was
one.
on the fabulous Richard Fidler's podcast, actually.
Oh,
on the ABC.
okay.
Not that there's
The
other
conversations.
podcasts.
There's not other podcasts.
No, don't say the name.
I won't say it. This comes from Kaz. Hi, Sammy and Georgia. I look forward to seeing that I have an alert you have a new story. I listened to you guys while walking my local streets. During this time, I am in shock laughter from what you both bring to the podcast. Don't want to sound gruesome, but a story that's close to my heart is Anita Cobby's story. The reason I lived and knew of the killers growing up as a young woman. Keep up the good work. Love you both. That is such a heartbreaking story.
Yeah.
And we have spoken briefly about it on a podcast with Evie Jones, a Thursday treat, but we will definitely have to do that as a full story because it is heartbreaking and one of those stories that just really sticks with people like we talked about before.
Yeah, there's so many out there.
Oh my God, yeah. And of course the dust storm you leaves you do on a podcast soon.
I can do that on
Yeah.
the episodes. And we all ended up dusty. That was really the end of the story.
The start and end
I think
of the
we've
story.
covered it.
Now, have you got a poetry peeve for me today?
I've
Because we
got
can't end this without a
I
poetry
have
peeve.
got a poetry peeve, in honour of G. My poetry peeve is when technology comes out, every iteration of technology seems to get smaller and classier.
Yeah,
and cooler,
yep.
except for fucking air fryers.
Yep. Yeah, oh my God, air fryers, yeah. Were you looking at my bulky air fryer just
Well,
before?
I saw your bulky air fryer that takes up 3/4 of your kitchen. But, like, everybody calm down.
Yeah.
Like, air fryers don't need to be the size to fit 2 whole chickens in them
No, that's true. Yeah.
because we've already got something for that, right? It's an oven.
It's called an oven.
It's called a fan-forced oven,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
basically an air fryer that you can stick in your wall.
Yes.
So,
Correct, yeah.
we don't need a giant implement that takes up half of our kitchen bench to heat up some hot chips and some,
refry hot chips.
Refry
That's why I
hot
got
chips.
told that it was so good for that. And I was like, do I really need to buy a whole thing? Anyway, I got one.
Yeah.
It's
They're
very
awesome
good.
for roast
It's very
potatoes.
good. Yeah.
They're very
oh my
good.
God. Roast potatoes are the best. I love roast potatoes.
But they could be a lot less giant.
Yeah, absolutely.
really my thing.
Yeah, I am sick of updating iOS.
Oh,
That is my thing at the moment. I just updated it and now I'm updating it again. And what I want to say is I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree to all the terms and conditions.
just do it.
Just do it. Just if there's nothing in there, like there's a South Park episode years and years ago about something that was in the terms and conditions that people weren't reading, and then they had to do all this stuff and go through all these hoops and everything. I agree. I just want to make this very clear. I agree, and I don't want to keep updating my phone all the time. Just do it overnight sometimes or in the background.
What's so cool about the fact that you moved the search bar so now I can't find it?
Yeah, I know.
What's
I
so
know.
like? Why was that? Was that really important in the iOS update? Like what we want? There's a few things that we as humanity have agreed that we want, right?
Yep.
More pockets in women's clothing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Fact.
We want
Yep.
our dogs to live for longer.
Yes.
And we want there to be less pricks in the world.
Yep.
So
yep.
if you could focus on that and don't move my search bar,
Yep.
I'd be really happy. Like, Apple, you've got a lot of money, Apple.
Yeah, and I think that's good advice for everybody today, and a good point to leave this podcast in.
I love it.
Scott, thank you so much for being guest Georgia for today. You know that we love you, and you're the third host of this podcast, so it's an honour to have you here today to be the guest Georgia. And I want to end today's episode by saying that, Scott, will you join me in one day being TikTok Book Talk Star?
TikTok Book Talk Stars!
Thank you so much, Scott.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you.